Shalom. Before I get started, as always, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone while I learn this truth. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect that they're scattered abroad, pushing this truth on the four corners of the earth, risking lives and freedom to do so. It's a brother Tazamak coming back with a quick lesson. I'm going to call this lesson Occupied Till I Come, or, occupied till his return. Okay. And I'm going to be going into what our main occupation is, meaning our job. Okay. What our main occupation is, what our job is, obviously being a prophet. What we're supposed to be occupied in, what we're supposed to be occupied doing. Okay. Because we're not of the world. Everybody else around us is in folly, living in pleasure, acting foolish, drunk off the philosophies, drunk on the Babylon juice. What one of the main ones being, do as thou wilt, have a ball, have a good time. You don't have to be held accountable for your actions. Sky's the limit. Okay? So nobody here is held accountable by their actions. And everybody else here is occupied in folly. Okay? In foolishness. In pleasure. They're so wrapped up in it. I talked to somebody the other day. They talking about they got 4 vacations planned for this upcoming year or this year. Okay, they're occupied and having a good time. We're supposed to be occupied in the scriptures. The Lord commanded us to. Okay, we're supposed to grow in the spirit, apply the scriptures to our life, bring in more fruit. We don't have the same liberty as everybody else does right now to be demons. And who would want that liberty anyway? Okay? Or the liberty to just fuck off all day, just hang out all day, eat cheese pizza, smoke weed, and drink. That's not being productive. That's counterproductive. That's being stagnant. And the Lord is not going to deal with a stagnant servant. It says in the scriptures, with the parable, with the talents and the napkin, the Lord said, my wicked, slothful servant. So it's wicked to be stagnant and not to be occupied in prophecy. The liberty that we do have right now, we use it, majority of it, 97% of it. I like to say 100 because we got to be at A+. But brothers do have lives as well. With that being said, but you use majority of your time and focus it on the Lord. Once you understand that, you really will grow. You can't do a half-ass job in this. The Lord will excuse you. By the way, putting you to death, taking the spirit from you, having you bug out, man. Okay, but if the Lord ain't with you, if you're not doing what you're supposed to, you're not one of the Lord's servants. Okay, you're just another nigga in the street. All right? So I'm going to go ahead and get some scriptures. And start off in the book of Luke. There we go. 19. Okay. And verse 12. We'll get this going. I have my jazz. So Luke 19 and 12. He said, therefore, a certain nobleman, Slakia. Trying to get something going on my TV. Here we go. So it says, this is Luke 19. It started at verse 12. It reads, he said, therefore, a certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom. And this is Yahweh speaking. And to return. Okay. And this is also talking about Yahweh, if you can receive it. Okay. Because it says a certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom. That nobleman is Yahweh. Okay. And it says to receive for himself a kingdom, which the kingdom that the Lord is going to receive is on the planet Earth. Okay, where we are right now. The Lord is going to set the planet Earth in order. Okay, and then we're going to have dominion over all the other planets, but the Lord is going to set his kingdom up right here on the planet Earth. Okay, when he returns. This is going to be the headquarters of the kingdom of heaven. Jerusalem being the headquarters, but the planet Earth, that's why I'm going to say Jerusalem being the headquarters of the kingdom of heaven. But the kingdom that the Lord is going to set up is right here. Is going to be right here on the planet Earth. Verse 13. And he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy till I come. You know, and it says, and he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds. You know, the 10 pounds represents the talents that the Lord gives you in his truth. Okay, because the Lord gives all his servants this wisdom, knowledge, understanding, but every brother has different talents. Okay, so the 10 pounds is the talents that the Lord gives you in this truth. All right, and you're supposed to build on those talents. Have more money when the Lord comes. Okay, if you're being stagnant, okay, you're not doing what you're supposed to do, the Lord is going to destroy you. Just shoot it to you straight. If you're not doing what you're supposed to do in the ministry, the Lord will excuse you. Right, you won't be with brothers. I've seen brothers get kicked out for not doing lessons, not coming to camp, not doing what they're supposed to do. All right, and they're on the path of destruction now. Okay, they didn't do what they were supposed to with the portion that the Lord gave them in the truth. Okay, like I said, every brother has different talents. You have to find what yours is and build on it. Number one, building is wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Okay. And it says, and said unto them, occupy till I come. Occupying what? Prophecy. You're supposed to know the time and seasons of everything going on around you. All right, stay vigilant. You know, stay on your watch. We watch for prophecies constantly, and it's a ton of prophecy going down right now. Okay, so we're supposed to occupy, we're supposed to grind, do our lessons, read, study, get into the Hebrew, grow as much as we can until the Lord comes. You know, when you go into this, when the Lord returns, he's going to see who built upon their talent. Because the Lord knows, man. The Lord's going to know. He's not going to need a declaration that they did that brother, I can't even think of the name, but that brother Jaban or whatever, you know, just throwing a name out there. That brother Malar or something, you know, just give it a name. Did he build on the talents I gave him? No. Okay, well, he about to get destroyed. Did this other brother build on the talents? Nope, he gonna get destroyed. You got to be at a certain level. The Lord is only going to set brothers at a certain level when he returns, and every brother has their portion in their level that they're supposed to be on, the level that they were supposed to grow to. If you had a 2%, no, man. We're supposed to give this thing 120%. That's why it says occupy till the Lord comes. We're supposed to be working, grinding, you know, taking care of our business. You know, occupy, taking care of our business until the Lord comes. Be about the Father's business. You know, when Joseph and Mary found Yahweh Shai, what did he tell them? So, man, where you been? We've been looking for you. Said, did you not know that I'm roughly paraphrasing? Did you not know that I'm about my Father's business? What's the Father's business? This work, man. Doing this work. You know? It's Saturday. I could be out having a ball right now. And I might go out and do a little something. It's going to be deadly today. Not deadly, but it's going to be dangerous today with the protests going on. But what? I got to do the work first. I got to be locked in. You know? Everything else comes after. I'm going to get this next in the book of Sirach. Sirach 42 to 43. Sirach 43 to 30. When ye glorify the Lord Yahweh, exalt him as much as ye can, for even yet will he far exceed. And when ye exalt him, put forth all your strength. You know, and when we exalt the Lord, it says put forth all your strength. You gotta give your all to this, man. How you gonna exalt the Lord as much as you can if you're being stagnant? Okay, if you're not being occupied in prophecy, if you're not doing what's pleasing to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, if you're being stagnant, you're just you're a bug out. The Lord hates a lazy servant. It's wicked. Like I said earlier, the Lord said with the parable with the talents with the napkin, my wicked slothful servant. Like Elder Apostle Ramla did a lesson a while ago, man, and it stood in my mind because it scared the shit out of me. It says stagnation leads to what? Damnation. And that's a moth. Okay? It says, read it back at the top, Sirach 43 and 30. When ye glorify the Lord, exalt him as much as ye can. For even yet will he far exceed. And when ye exalt him, put forth all your strength, and be not weary. For you can never go far enough. Be not weary. Don't get tired and give up. Okay, because like the scriptures say, the saints are worn out, man, but the same affliction is accomplishing your brother, like the scriptures say. We all going through. We all worn out. We all tired, man. I done had to work 12, 14-hour shifts, get off and study a meaty breakdown, get off and read, get off and do some lessons, a lesson, get off and get into some physical activities, working out, because you got to take care of your health as well. Okay? You have to learn how to put the Lord first, regardless of what you're going through. You can be homeless. The Lord didn't say stop teaching when you're homeless. Look what our forefathers had to go through. Abraham left his home and didn't know where he was going. He left on faith. Okay? Part of you being occupied in prophecy is having faith, man. Because if you have faith, you're going to have the fear of the Lord. Okay, if you got the fear of the Lord, you're going to stay in order. All right? If you don't have faith, you're not going to give a shit about the fear of the Lord because you don't believe anyway. You know what I mean? You try to tell somebody in the world, hey, you ain't supposed to line your hair up. You're not supposed to smoke weed. You're supposed to be locked into the scriptures. They're going to tell you to fuck off. They don't have faith. They're demons. What they got is demons on them. That's what they do have. And it says, again, put forth all your strength and be not weary, for you can never go far enough. We can never go far enough. We always supposed to do more and more and more and more and more. I did 2 lessons. Okay, tomorrow let me do 3. I did 3 lessons this week. Next week, let me do 4. I read 3 chapters a day. Tomorrow, let me try to get 4, 5. You know, I did I did a breakdown last week. Okay, let me do a breakdown this week. I studied some Hebrew words last week. Let me study some more Hebrew words. You can't go far. You got to keep going. My brother in Kansas City did a lesson. Adopt that next play mentality, meaning you're gonna grind and hit it hard regardless. You know. I'm gonna go to let me see. I'm gonna keep it on here because I got my phone on airplane mode right now. But I'm gonna get this next in the book of Sirach. (39 and 1). But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecies. Okay, so we're supposed to be occupied in prophecies. You know, that's our duty. All right, this is our main occupation. Our main job is to be occupied in prophecy, giving our mind to it. We're supposed to meditate on the law day and night, just like the scriptures say. Go to sleep with the scriptures in your mind. Wake up with the scriptures in your mind. You know, an Apostle Ramblad did a lesson the other day, and I don't remember the title exactly. I remember what it's about, putting the Lord first. And the elder in Iowa did a lesson, and he was doing a lamb back off of it. And he said brothers is wondering why they don't got the fire to do lessons, why they ain't in the spirit at camp, why they're depressed. Because believe it or not, man, not being locked in the truth, and you really care about this, like you know, obviously you really want this, right? You'll be depressed if you're not locked in, because you feel like a piece of you is missing. You know how bitches say, I know I make your life complete, or simps be like, man, without you, my life is incomplete. Well, that's how you should feel without this truth, without being occupied, without the scriptures. You should feel incomplete, insufficient, empty, right? And you know, the elder in Iowa, I was saying that, you know how you can eat, how we eat to keep our bodies functional and staying alive. You got to do the same thing for the spirit, you know, and that comes with being occupied in prophecy. You have to stay occupied. It's easy to go off track because it's nothing but distractions around us. It's nothing but distractions around us. It's very easy to go off track, you know. And it says, but this I say, brethren. I mean, this is First Corinthians 7:29. But this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remaineth that both they that had wives be as though they had none. And this is Apostle Paul. Okay, and it says, but this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remaineth that both they that had wives be as though they had none. It's saying that for a reason. This was an opinion of Apostle Paul, but it's saying that because if you got a wife and you're all up into her, you put your heart and your soul. There's nothing wrong with having a wife and being it for her. because you're supposed to be pleasing to your woman as well. Even though she's the help me, she's a woman is a servant, your wife. Um, you're supposed to deal with her as well too. But it's saying that be as though they had them because you have to be occupied in prophecy. You so locked into the word. I mean, shit, you got a wife, but you don't got a ton of time to spend with her. You spend enough, you know. Keep her happy, whatever the hell you got to do. And if she don't want to get in line, get her a bill of divorce, separate from her, man. Because you can't have no hindrances when you're in this truth. It's full brakes ahead. I mean, full steam ahead. All gas, no brakes. You know. So, Lord's with us was an edifying lesson. With that, I'm gonna say shalom.